Hello, folks. How's it going? Um, Short film again tonight for you. I watched a short film called "The Other Side of the Box." Um, Pretty basic, but pretty good. Um, Basic story is this fella. There's a bit of friction, I think, between the characters in the film, but this fella brings a box, like a gift, over to his mate and the girlfriend. Um, And it's a little bit weird, a little bit of weirdness between them, a bit of tension, a bit of friction, whatever. And then the mate leaves, and then it turns out the girlfriend's there. They pretended that the girlfriend wasn't there, so I think there's some friction between the two of them. But anyway, the box. Um, they open up this box, and there's just like this. It is like a gateway to somewhere else, to another dimension, because I open it and it's just pitch black inside, and it's like vast. You know what I mean? It's like you put your hand, he drops like a pen or something through it, I think it was, and it doesn't land. You know what I mean? There's nowhere. It's just a void. The void through this box. But anyway, what he puts on the table, and they're sort of mystified by this. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And suddenly, this like sweaty, wet, sort of drenched, sort of weird person's head. I say person, it's probably not a person in the realms of the film. It's some sort of being, but it's his head poked through the box, and they're like, "What the hell?" They're so freaked out by it, and they're like watching it, and it's just such an unnerving stare at this damn thing. Well, it's a man. It's obviously a man, but in the realms of the film, it's obviously meant to be some sort of creature from wherever this box leads. But it's such an unnerving stare. It just stares at them, and they're staring back at it. And whilst they're staring at it, they make a phone call to the fella that bought them the box, and they're saying, what the hell? They can't get hold of him, leaving him messages and stuff. Pardon me. Anyway, now, how do they gather that they can't look away from it? That's right. Yeah, hold on. They look away for a sec, and when they look back, this thing has come out the box a little bit more. So they come to the conclusion that they need to keep their eyes on it. So the fella leaves the girlfriend at the house staring at this thing so it doesn't move, and he goes out because he can't get hold of his mate on the phone. He goes out to try and find his mate. And while he's out, his mate rings and he's like, "I'm so sorry, I had to do this, blah, 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 blah." And then the fella on the phone who's trying to find him says, "Look, we're terrified of this thing. What's going on?" And the lad on the phone who's given the box has said, "We? What do you mean we?" And he's like, the fella's like, "Well, so I can't remember her name now. His girlfriend. My girlfriend's with me. You know what I mean?" And this freaks out the guy on the phone who's given them the box, because what transpires from that conversation is, no, I gave you the box. You have to keep your eyes on this thing. Otherwise, this thing is going to get out and do what it does. So then the fellow is in a panic. He tries to get back to the house as quick as he can because he realizes that it doesn't matter if the girlfriend keeps her eyes on this thing. It's going to come out. It's got to be him that keeps his eyes on this thing. So he, basically he gets back to the house and it's in darkness and, whatever else. Oh, and I forgot to mention this thing can mimic voices. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. Where did I get to? Oh yeah, he goes back in the house. He's in darkness and chairs knocked over, and obviously there's been a struggle of some sort. So he's creeping around the house, and he goes he opens the basement door because it's all in darkness, and he calls. He says, I can't remember his missus' name now. He calls her, and she goes, "Yeah," making out she's down there. At this point you're like, well, is she? So he goes down with a torch because the electrics don't work, and the shower's on. He's like creeping around, and suddenly he spots this thing. It is still it's a human it's in human form, whatever, you know. And he suddenly, it makes you jump, and he's like, well, there it is. And so he's like, I see you. And then he hears a noise. I don't know what it is about being wet with these things, but there's something to do with being wet. They're all wet. It's never explained, or at least I didn't spot it, the explanation. Anyway, he hears a noise and he looks away, and obviously then looks back and the thing's gone. And then, what happened next? Anyway, he sort of darts out of there, he drops his torch, blah, 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 and he runs to go back up the stairs, and suddenly there's all these other dark figures at the top of the stairs. So now he's trapped. He's like, there's all these figures at the top of the stairs, these things that have probably come out of the box as well. I don't know where the girlfriend is, to be honest. I don't know what the hell's happened to her. But so then he's like, he's got to look at these people on the stairs, and then he's got to look at the other thing downstairs, the creature, the first thing that came out of the box. And this other one, he looks at this other one, and then he looks away again and looks back, and this thing's like, this one from downstairs within the shower, it's raised its arm, like it's trying to grab this, I don't know what it was, hanging from the ceiling, some sort of necklace, or I don't know what it was, to be honest. Anyway, it's a bit like the Weeping Angels in Doctor Who. If anyone's ever seen the episodes of Doctor Who with the Weeping Angels, there's some really good episodes. They crop up in quite a few episodes where they can't look away from them. If they look away from them, then they get closer and they can move, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so yeah, he's in a bit of a dilemma there because he can't keep his eye on both the group at the top of the stairs or the thing downstairs. So, do you know what I mean? He's screwed from that moment. And that's it. It pretty much ends there. But it's just really good. It again, cheap, short, not much to it, but just a good idea. A good idea of where the hell does this box lead to? Where are these things coming from? And is that their true form? Or, you know, is he just, I always read stuff into it like this. Is he witnessing them like that because the human mind can't comprehend anything else and he has to see them in human form? I'm digging into it more than probably the short film, you know. It didn't give us anything towards that. But, you know, again, like I say, sometimes the mysteries, it's best kept as a mystery, but it doesn't stop my brain working overtime on possibilities. So, yeah, that was it, basically. That was it. You know what? I think I should explain this right. Every time I make a video, I do find, you might notice it as well, I'm struggling to breathe. I mean, you probably think I'm asthmatic or something, but it's not that. But not that you might not be interested, but like now, I have real trouble breathing through my nose. I've got such like a deviated septum, and I really struggle to breathe through my nose. So I find most of my breathing is done through my mouth. And when I'm talking, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to get my breath back when I'm between sentences. Just in case anyone was wondering, it's just whenever I finish a video, and say I listen to it back just to make sure there's no static or you know, make sure the recordings come out all right, I hear myself and think, Jesus, I sound like I'm flipping dying, you know what I mean? But no, it's just because I have trouble breathing through my nostrils. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't want to know that, but there you go. Anyway, yeah, I'll put the link in, The Other Side of the Box. Go and check this film out because it's worth a look. Anyway, thanks for listening. Cheerio for now.